A communications tower has been destroyed at an air defense factory in the Russian city of Tula, the pro-Ukrainian Atesh partisan group claimed on September 11th. This is an enterprise of the Russian military-industrial complex. It develops air defense systems, rapid-fire guns, and small arms. In particular, the factory workshops assemble the Kornet anti-tank missile system and the Pantsir-S air defense missile system, the group said in a Telegram post. The Atesh group regularly conducts sabotage operations on military infrastructure in occupied Ukrainian territory and deep within Russia. Reconnaissance was conducted by the group prior to the attack, and Ukrainian forces have previously successfully hit the factory, Atesh claimed. Now we are moving to more active actions and destroying the enterprise's infrastructure. And this is just the beginning. Tula is located about 329 kilometers, 204 miles, from Ukraine's border with Russia and 174 kilometers, 108 miles, south of Moscow. A day earlier, the Atesh group claimed it had successfully conducted reconnaissance of a Russian military headquarters in St. Petersburg. Agents collected data on Russian military unit 31,807 at the headquarters of the 6th Combined Arms Army, which is currently partaking in Russia's war against Ukraine near Kupiansk, the group claimed. We studied the operating mode and security system of the facility. There is enhanced patrolling. Movement of personnel and vehicles is recorded. All obtained information has already been passed on to the armed forces of Ukraine for further use, Atesh added. Footage shows a missile strike on the ammunition depots of Russia's Dnieper troop grouping in Solnekhnaya Dolina, Crimea. The attack took place in the first half of August 2025 and reportedly targeted artillery storage facilities. Ukraine has made the systematic destruction of Russian artillery depots a core part of its strategy. Using drones, precision artillery, and long-range Western-supplied missiles, Ukrainian forces constantly hunt down Russian ammunition storage sites near the front and deep in the rear. These strikes not only deplete Russia's firepower but also disrupt logistics, forcing Russian units to disperse supplies and move them under constant threat. Each successful hit reduces the intensity of Russian shelling, buying Ukrainian troops valuable time and weakening Russia's ability to sustain large-scale offensives. Russian forces lost 2 tanks, 3 armored vehicles, and 11 motorcycles. They attacked at dawn, but were repelled by Ukrainian units from the 81st Airmobile Brigade from the 11th Army Corps. The Ukrainian 81st Airmobile Brigade is one of the most battle-hardened airborne assault formations in the armed forces of Ukraine. Formed in 2014, it has seen constant combat since the beginning of the Russian aggression in Donbass. The brigade is highly mobile, trained for rapid deployment, and specializes in both defensive and offensive operations. Its paratroopers gained a reputation during the battles of Debaltseve and later in defensive actions around Sloviansk and Kramatorsk. Today, the 81st plays a critical role on the front, often being used as a shock force, capable of quickly reinforcing weak sectors or spearheading assaults against Russian positions. Russia is fighting a PR campaign rather than a war, a Russian war blogger complains. He says that Russia commanders are falsifying localized victories and painting an unduly rosy picture of success, while Ukrainian drones continue to dominate the battlefield. Anatoly Radov, blogging as MotoPatriot78, writes, "Unfortunately, predictably, everything has long since descended into a situation where the main thing is not to win, but to declare victory. It doesn't matter what the situation is really like on the front line. The main thing is that everything is presented as a quick and easy victory. Therefore, even when people from the front say that the Ukrainians have a global advantage in terms of FPV and the lower sky, hordes of coach potato armchair critics always rush in to prove the opposite. At the same time, of course, they additionally prove that all this hype is being stirred up by war bloggers and military correspondents for the sake of urgent collections of donations. Apparently, these same war bloggers are forcing the fighters to say that they need UAVs, FPV drones, repeaters, electronic warfare equipment, and so on and so forth. And, accordingly, there are people at the top, for example in the Duma, who think along the same lines and are trying with all their might to block all these funds. The same goes for banks, which can do nothing about card blocking. All the Ukrainians have to do is call some call center and claim that the card has been lost or is fraudulent. Next, there are all these bans on Discord through which our UAV operators broadcast, the ban on Starlink in the Donetsk People's Republic, and in the near future, I think, there will be a complete ban on donations. In other words, everything is being done to ensure that the enemy retains its advantage in UAVS, and the enemy is fine with that. Unlike us, they support all these fees and assistance from people, continuing to defeat us in the lower sky. But it seems to me that even the most ardent supporters are beginning to have one unpleasant thought nagging at them. With this approach, we are gradually moving away from victory towards a situation where, sooner or later, we will be forced to accept the terms of the Western Ukraine, i.e., to freeze the conflict in the Luhansk People's Republic. If anyone thinks this is complete nonsense, remember how long we have been taking Kupiansk, Pokrovsk. I won't even mention Konstantinivka, which has been put on hold for now. And each time, it is becoming more and more difficult to advance. More precisely, in most cases, the advance looks like this. 2 soldiers went ahead, the Ukrainians covered them, and based on this video, the OSINTers sketched the territory behind us. Everyone is happy. And no one cares that these 2 fighters simply died under the bombs, and in fact there is no advance. Instead, there are huge gray kill zones into which fighters are thrown again and again because they are ours and they have already been marked on the maps. So, to sum up, for the armchair critics, if the West manages to break us and defeat us, then you armchair critics will also be destroyed. And your cries that everything is actually fine and we have won will not help you. An incredibly complex evacuation was carried out by the ground robotics unit of Ukraine's 93rd Mechanized Brigade. After stepping on a mine and losing part of his foot, a wounded soldier known as Yannick was pulled to safety by a comrade. A drone robot was sent to evacuate him but hit a mine after 300 meters. A second drone later traveled nearly 15 kilometers and successfully extracted Yannick to safety in Konstantinivka.
Crawled on mountains where our position was burning.
This drone hit some kind of improvised decoy explosive device and blew off. But thanks to the protection, the wounded person didn't suffer any worse.
I was praying while driving, then got tired of praying. From midnight to 6 in the morning, a drone was guiding me.
Because having a guard is the most essential and important part of what we do.
Well, thanks to the platform. Because I definitely wouldn't have written as much as it took me. I would have taken a month. It definitely took me about 5 kilometers. We passed through 2 destroyed villages and a bunch of fields. It was a very long time traveling on the platform.
Near Minsk, Belarus is building a secret military base likely intended for the Oreshnik missile system, according to satellite imagery. Since 2022, Belarus has upgraded multiple military sites and is now finishing 2 new bases near Ukraine's border, just days ahead of the joint Zapad 2025 drills.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.